we all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
If somebody slips and falls on snow and ice that the association has had an opportunity to treat and remove, but they haven't, the association may well be liable for all of the damages that follow as a result of this slip and fall. The broken bone, the pain and suffering, the hospitalization, and so forth. But I would like to say something, if I may here.
Yeah.
You may.
There are a couple of things. Number one is like with towing of cars.
Mm-hmm.
The board, before it tows cars, it should get in touch with its attorney because there are special rules for towing of cars from private property. The board may have to accommodate handicapped people. Snowbirds often leave for Florida or something and either forget to turn on the heat or, to save money, turn the heat down.
Well, now we're moving back into the unit.
Into the unit.
Now we're talking about in-unit.
That may result in freezing pipes.
Right.
People sometimes refuse to move their cars out of the parking lot because they just don't want to get up and go out and do it in a timely fashion, which causes associations money. There are lots of issues dealing with snow.
I mean, the
and
message
ice.
I'm getting here is, I think the message for the boards is, listen, you have the responsibility, legal responsibility falls on your shoulders, so you have to be prepared for the stuff. If you don't have regulations in place, definitely contact Goodman, Shapiro Lombardi. Ellen and Henry would be able to navigate through that process for you, be able to put together the rules and regulations that are necessary to be able to do what you need to do, and B, protect the association itself in the event things go awry.
Yeah, and one last thing, by the way. Boards cannot, by trying to save money, shift the burden for snow removal or treatment on the unit owners, for example, by saying we're putting out barrels of salt and you salt your own steps or walkway.
Interesting.
If the board has the obligation to do it.
Right.
As distinguished from exclusive use common area.
Some of the statistics that we're seeing is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, National Association of Realtors. They're all coming out and saying that fourth quarter of next year, that they all feel that there's going to be a 5 in front of the 30-year fixed rate. So, if you decide to wait a year, wait till next fall to buy a property, well, in some of those areas that you're talking about, there's 4, 5, 6, 7% appreciation. Mm-hmm. And then now we're talking about a whole percentage point higher to purchase that property. Right. It's going to be expensive to buy in that. So people's buying power is going to be reduced by a great deal. So I think if anybody's on the fence or thinking, you get your lease coming up pretty soon, and you're just thinking, do I renew my lease, or do I get out into the marketplace? It's probably a better idea to get on the marketplace. Do you agree? Do you see?
I agree completely. I've always felt that the right time to buy is when you are ready, but also have an awareness of what is going on in the greater market, because that absolutely has impact. Purchasing power is what it's all about, because while some people really think, this is a lot of money to pay, they're thinking about the big number. It really is about the small number. What can I afford? What can I get qualified for?
Right.
All of those things. They're very important. And, of course, the smaller that number is, the easier it is for folks to be able to get into houses.
I want to get back to the discussion of the winter season. For those seller clients that you are servicing or will be servicing, what is some of the advice that you have for them in terms of preparing their house for the winter months and sort of setting expectations, really?
Well, a lot of it has to do with where pricing is. Every time you put a house on the market, it's always price sensitive to whatever else is on the market at the same time. When you're at a place and you have this expectation that you're going to be getting 10 to 15% more than the market will bear, just really pay attention to that, because you're setting really false expectations for yourself. And that's not only in the winter, but it's everywhere. But it's especially critical in the winter months. When it's time to sell, there are buyers out there all the time, but they want to make sure that they're getting the right price for the house.
do you have any tips on the website? Can people go there and get resources as far as how to pick a real estate agent, or what kind of resources can they find besides just picking an agent on your website?
Well, we do have a blog section on the site that will, there's a bunch of blogs on there that you can read as a resource on,
Great.
How to pick an agent, what's important when you pick an agent, what's less important, what's important when you're looking to sell a property, the things to do and things to not do, because that's always a big discussion, when it comes time to putting your house on the market. Should we add a garage, or what is this going to do? Should we update the kitchen? All kinds of discussions, and those are all honestly discussions that a realtor should walk you through while they're in your home. It's not necessarily the kind of a blanket statement that you can make,
right,
and that holds true for everyone. In some places, the kitchen should be updated.
Yeah,
we've had a common theme during this show, and that's been sort of the winter, because obviously the temperature has plummeted, and I think we all now have the obvious realization that the winter is upon us. What are some of the discussions in the blog surrounding how to prepare your home for winter, how to stay ahead of the competition?
That's a good question. We'll probably put that in next week's blog.
Yeah, sounds great. And Ali
now that it is winter.
Right, and Ali will write it for you. No, but I think one of the things that Ali was sort of getting at, and I think people just have this, well, if I'm going to list my house, I'm going to wait till the spring. Or if I'm going to list my house, I'm going to wait till the fall. And I think what people sort of are confused or don't sort of realize is, let me back up. When I put my house on the market, what I was terrified of is someone putting their house on the market just like mine, but pricing a little bit lower than mine. Right? Could more competition. Absolutely. And what happened was I had 3 people who did that. So if I decided to wait till the wintertime, because I guarantee, guys, there's buyers for your house. If you price it aggressively, there are buyers for your home. If it's winter, spring, summer, fall, it doesn't matter. So, you've got less competition in the wintertime.
Absolutely.
If you got a bad-looking yard too, it's a great time, right? Because it's
covered with snow.
Right. And I think this perceived notion of the fact that people don't want to truck you through your home during the holidays, I think it's wrong. I think it's if it's a festive time, I think the house shows well if you've decorated it well.
Yeah,
and it becomes more homey.
Bake some nice cookies right before they get there. You'll have the thing sold in 30 seconds.
Always good to do a loaf of bread
right?
Just before the show.
That's
Nothing
exactly.
beats the smell of baked bread in your oven.